Hey YouTube, my name's Israel. A lot of you guys don't know me. I'm just the average Joe like everybody else. But I've been having this weird feeling like I really been wanting to help people. It's been one thing that I've always wanted to do with my life was just help people. And I think the first time that I can actually remember that I wanted to or started to gain a passion for helping people was when I was 3 years old. And so my mom and my aunt, they tell me stories from when I was younger, and they're all so funny, especially the way that they started. So when I was younger, my mom used to watch Cops all the time, the old 1990s Cops, and she used to have me watch them with her. We'd always just sit there and watch them, and I started to gain this passion for helping people. And I remember acting like a cop and being a cop in my head as a 3-year-old. And so that feeling always just persisted all the way through high school, and I joined ROTC, and I just had this feeling and this yearning for wanting to become a police officer to help people. And so I did ROTC all 4 years of high school, my freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. We graduated high school. After that, I went to school for criminal justice for a little bit, but had a really negative experience with one of my instructors. So I ended up quitting college, and then ended up moving more far Northern California. And then so stayed in Northern California for a year. And then when I turned 21, I ended up joining the Marine Corps. So I joined the Marine Corps at 21 years old, ended up getting stationed in California. I ended up meeting my wife there. My wife and I, we ended up getting married, and now we have 2 kids. We both got out in 2022, and then we decided to move to Michigan. It was kind of a big change for me because I'm not from the Northwest, or excuse me, the Midwest, but she is. And so, I'm not really opposed to it. All my family's in California, but a lot of what's going on in California, for me, especially my hometown, I'm not really about it, and I'm real easily influenced. And so I thought, maybe I go somewhere that's new and we build a whole new life there, which is exactly what we did. So I worked for Frito-Lay for a little while I was going to school, still working on my associate's degree. And then just had a real negative experience with that job where it was just constant working. I was salary there, so it was just whenever you finish is when you finish. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You cannot leave a store, or you have to make sure everything's filled before you leave. And it was draining me. It was real draining. I remember there were days where I'd leave my house at 4 a.m. and not get home till 6 p.m. and my son would have to go to sleep at the time. And so I remember just stopping at the church all the time and praying and asking God, I need something new. And he understood me. And God, I just kept praying every single day. I just go and bawl my eyes out in church and pray and ask God, God, please help me. And then so, out of nowhere, I just received this email for an interview from World's Finest Chocolate, which is who I work for now. And it has been a blessing. I mean, the pay is not where I want it to be, obviously, but I think that goes for everyone. We always want more. And but other than that, I mean, the experience is amazing. Being able to go into a school, it's basically cold calling. You go into a school, and you go and talk to the principal, see if they want to run a fundraiser for whether it be now or later on, and you do your best to try to convince them to do a fundraiser and have a good time. For a lot of people that I know, a lot of it's mainly just commissions for them, but for me, it's much deeper than that. As I said, I've always wanted to help people, and that's what I've been able to do. And so throughout my fundraisers, I've been able to help schools raise tons of money. I think it's almost at $100,000, if not more than $100,000 that we've helped raise for schools just by going in and talking to the principal, them having a successful fundraiser, and them doing amazing things for the students. So a little bit more about me. I was really, really poor. I grew up in a single parent household, no father figure other than my grandpa and my uncles. And they were the people that I saw, but living without a father, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, like I said, I was poor. We were homeless. We lived in my grandpa's basement for a little while. We lived in hotels, and we did all these different things. And so I didn't have money for new clothes. We didn't have money for backpacks and new equipment. And, your friends would show up to school in the new school year, and, I'm wearing the same thing that I was the year prior, and they got the cool Nikes and the cool JanSport backpacks. And back then when I was younger, material items were to die for, basically. You know, everybody wanted to be hype and cool in the now, and so for me it wasn't like that, and it was actually very demeaning at the time. I don't know why, you know, and I've, you know, so growing up that way was really hard, but I just knew deep down that I just wanted to help people. So from here on out, starting today, we're doing a series where it's I want to help people. That's the main priority is to help people. The main priority is to help those in need, especially people that, like I said, I was homeless at one point. I know what that's like. I know what living in a hotel is like, and I want to help people like that. I want to help single parents that don't have money to do stuff for their kids, and I want to do stuff like that. Thankfully, God has allowed me to do that through World's Finest Chocolate and selling chocolate to schools. I get to, you know, have part in their experience. I get to go to celebrations where the kids are celebrated for their amazing work during the fundraiser. And like, I remember just the other day when I went to a celebration for one of the schools that sold like $12,000 worth of chocolate, and being there, sitting in the crowd, the principal invited me. I got to sit in the crowd and watch them do the sliming of the principal and the pie, and like that kind of stuff. And it was just so bizarre, this like coming to circle feeling of like, wow, I did that. Obviously the kids did that, right? But I had a big and significant part in doing that. And for me, going in there and talking to the principal and having this conversation and setting up the whole fundraiser and the prizes and communicating with parents and those kinds of things, that this is all what it came to. You know what I mean? So I want to do that. I want to help people. Initially, this is kind of like, I wanted to do social media to see if it worked in funding a vacation for my family, you know, just based on views, all the content that I upload. You know, if people like it and they follow me, that's all what it's about, right? That's what I was thinking. But then the more that I start to think about it, it's more than that. And I think God kind of put that in my heart. Like, if I can somehow build this platform to do things for people that are in need, that is going to be self-satisfaction for me, yeah, but it's also in the bigger picture, it's going to be for the people who need it, you know what I mean, and making people's lives a little bit easier. My mom had a hard time raising us by herself. There's 5 of us, and she did it. She took care of all of us. I have 4 siblings, and all 5 of us are over the age of 21, and that was all thanks to my mom, and I give her full credit to that. I give full credit to God for keeping us safe in situations where we could have been hurt, where we could have been killed. And it's really scary, you know. But so essentially what I want to do for this series is every single day from here on out, I'm going to post a video of me trying to raise money for a vacation for my family while helping those in need. So what does that look like? That looks like just views, shares, comments, that kind of thing. Please, you know, share it with your friends, your family. But I'm also going to post the GoFundMe link to help those in need. So you can find that on my TikTok, The Life of Israel. It's the same handle as the one that I have on YouTube. And then also I'm going to put it in this bio as well. You can find the GoFundMe link, donate whatever it is that you'd like, and then we're going to go and we're going to help families or homeless individuals out there on the street here in Southern Michigan, whether it be in Lansing and Adrian and Jackson and all these other different places. That's what I want to do. I want to help people. So I'm not going to use any of the money that's donated for the GoFundMe at all for any vacation. Everything that is donated is going to be strictly given back to the people in Southern Michigan that need it the most. I'm going to fund the vacation, the family vacation, based on the views and TikTok, in hopes that it does go viral. You know what I mean? And you know, that's going to be nice. If for some reason we just don't meet that goal of what I want to go on, take my family on a vacation or something, then that's fine, as long as those people that we're helping out here in Jackson and we're in Southern Michigan alone are taken care of. So every Wednesday and every Friday, we're going to go and we're going to assess all the donations that were given through the GoFundMe link. And we're going to highlight a few individuals that have donated. We're going to put their handle and their picture, their icon of their profile, and we're going to show how much they donated. And we're going to take that donation and we're going to film the entire process of us going and picking out, you know, whether it be food or maybe some fast food for somebody who might need it. But we're going to film the entire thing from start to finish, except for when we give it to the person. We're just going to film maybe just us handing it to them, maybe from like waist down. I don't want to put anybody on blast. I don't want to embarrass anybody. I don't want to do anything like that. And I also don't want it to be one of those like contents where it's like, okay, you know, we're going to go help these people. Watch us while we go help these people. You know what I mean? On the kind of scale of like, we want you to see how good we're doing or what we're doing for the people. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I don't want to put anybody on blast, and I don't want to make it seem as like I'm this, oh God, you know, great person because I'm doing this for them. No, I don't want to do that, you know. And I do appreciate the content creators who do it rightfully, where they go and they approach a person or they ask, can I have $1 or $2, and do end up creating a GoFundMe account for those people. That is really cool, especially when they're raising millions and millions and millions of dollars for those people. That's awesome. That's amazing. You know what I mean? But other people who are doing it for just their own satisfaction and that they want to be praised for what they're doing for the homeless, I don't want none of that. I'm a firm believer in the Bible. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that he's our Savior. And he died for our sins, and he came down and he was resurrected 3 days later. I believe in all that. And I believe that God wouldn't want me to sit here and, you know, put these people on blast just for views and content. That's not what I'm here for. I want to be as completely like transparent as possible. For every $1 that we take out of the GoFundMe, that is going to be completely tracked the entire time. You guys are going to be able to see every single one of it, from the goal, from what we're currently sitting at. Everything like that is going to be completely transparent. So you'll be able to find that in my bio. But in all that, I'm going to just be posting regular content. Day 2, day 3 of trying to raise money for a family vacation while helping those in need. So you're going to see me, I mean, whether it be a mukbang or whether it be mowing my lawn, or maybe even giving some advice for people who have been in similar situations like me. Like, I was an alcoholic at one point. I struggled with a lot of different addictions at one point. But I've been able to change my life around by the grace of God. And so for so long, like so long, like years and years, I've had this deep feeling from God or something that's been telling me, like, dude, just start the page, start the content, start doing whatever it is, whatever it takes to start helping people, and use your talents for that. And I think one of the talents that God has given me, and it's important that we all recognize what it is that we are all talented at, because every single one of us is talented. We all come from the same place. And recognizing what it is that your talent is, and then capitalizing on that, is what makes you different from everybody else. So don't let your talents go to waste. For me, what my talent is I think I'm really good at speaking. I'm a great public speaker. I'm great at interviews. I'm great at building relationships with people. I'm good at being a salesman for World's Finest Chocolate. This is my first sales job ever, and I'm killing it, you know. And, you know, I don't like to give myself too much credit because I feel like I still can do much more. But using your talents, like I am using my talents every single day just to talk and have conversations with people and do that kind of thing. And so why not use my talents to help other people succeed, to help other people and uplift other people? There's so many other creators out there who gain a following from doing, you know, ridiculous things. And that's, you know, that's okay. That's what people like to watch. That's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to be an influencer that can help people strive, that can change people's lives, like you see, like Jimmy Dart and all these other guys that are actually changing the lives of people. I want to be a part of that. And I want to do stuff like that for people. It'll give me that same satisfaction of that I did help somebody. That same feeling as a kid where that's all I ever wanted to do was be a police officer to help people. It was nothing more than that. You know, you can't say that like a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old, all these times that I wanted to be a cop, just for the satisfaction for myself. No, it's for the satisfaction of others. And I do find that whenever I do help someone, or, you know, maybe if I give a couple bucks here and there to somebody who I think might need it, like, I feel good to know that I had a part in making their day just a little bit better. And I think we can all do a little bit of that, you know. And so whether it be $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever it is that you can afford to give, I mean, that would go a long way for somebody else. You know what I mean? And I'm really excited about this series. I'm really excited to see kind of where it goes. Like I said, I think I said this in my TikTok video, but I'm not too, you know, tech savvy, especially when it comes to like editing and YouTube and those kinds of things. Like, I understand like what could potentially draw people to like your content, but I don't think that I'm, you know, like Mr. Beast's group, you know, where they have like their cool thumbnails and they got all this cool, you know, these cha-chings popping up, all that stuff. I don't know anything about that. All I want to do is just make this content for people to see, and hopefully I can provide some sort of entertainment during that process. But at the end of the day, the main priority being people. We take care of one another whenever we can in small ways, you know. Like I said, $1, $2, $3 here and there can help somebody, can truly help somebody, can make somebody's day change you know. And it sucks because I've seen, you know, especially here in Michigan, when it's cold, freezing, like nearly negative temperatures, being homeless out there. I can't imagine. Like my face is literally like, feels like there's needles in it whenever I'm outside, like whenever I have to leave the house or something in the middle of winter, like freezing cold. And coming from California, that's, you know, our coldest is like 60 degrees. And here in Michigan, 60 degrees is nice. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do a lot of different content. You know, I love food, even though I shouldn't be eating it. I love talking to people. I love sharing my experiences with people if it helps other people. Let you know that we're not alone. And this is perfect too, because I just realized this is Men's Mental Health Month. You know, so even by talking to the camera here that I'm doing while I'm doing emails, like this helps me, you know. And maybe if something that I say, or maybe something that I do, or maybe some questions and comments that you guys leave could help somebody else. So maybe even right now while we're talking about it, if you know something, or if you need any advice, if you have some advice to offer others, throw it in the chat. I mean, throw it in the comments. Like let's all talk about it. You know what I mean? These last 2-3 weeks have been really rough for me. Struggling mentally. You know, I haven't been working out as much as I want to. Just things just not feel like they're just not going my way. You know what I mean? And it's been really hard. Like I've broke down in front of my wife several times. Like life is hard, especially when you have people depending on you, like your wife and your 2 kids, like I do. You know, it's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. But being able to talk about it helps. Being able to pray helps. Being able to do all these different things. I don't pray as much as I should, by the way. And I don't read scripture as much as I should, by the way. But it helps, you know what I mean? And if maybe my content can do that for you, or for somebody that really needs it, like, don't feel free to reach out. Even if you have to message me, if that's something that makes you feel comfortable, don't be afraid. That's one thing that I've always talked about my entire life. Especially, I had my own platoon in the Marine Corps for so long. And there was a stigma around mental health, like, if you express your feelings, you're less of a man. If you express your feelings, or you cry in front of another man, like that makes you like a PU. You know what I mean? No, that's not the case at all. I've always been a person to share my feelings and to express them how I feel. And you know, I don't think that like if I cry or anything, that's gonna make me less of a person. Not at all. Like, I know some people were raised that way, like, no, you shut up whenever you stop crying, blah, blah. Like, no. And I tell my son this, like, yeah, my son, sometimes he cries about things that he shouldn't. And that's when I tell him, like, dude, like, stop. Whining about, like, your strawberries not being cut properly, that's one thing. But, like, if you're crying because your feelings are genuine, let's talk about it. There's nothing wrong with crying. It's okay to cry. Real men show their feelings. That's okay. You know what I mean? And you'll have these alpha bros that'll come out and they'll tell you, like, oh, it's not this, it's not that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what matters is your mental health. Happy mental health month for men. Last month was women's. Same thing for women. If you're a woman that needs to talk to somebody, feel free to reach out. It always helps. Please reach out. I don't mind talking to anybody new. I would love to have a phone call conversation with you if that helps. To vent. Sometimes we don't have people that we trust to vent to. Sometimes all it takes, you know, maybe we can even do like some videos as to maybe meeting one another and posting that on YouTube and just talking about our feelings, what's bothering you, those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Because I even looked into mental health myself. Even being a veteran, it's so hard getting mental health help. But I've tried BetterHelp, and it's so expensive, you know, and they require so much, you know. But sometimes that's not what we need. Sometimes we just need to talk it out. Maybe have a beer or something while we're talking about it, you know, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. So if anybody's telling you that you shouldn't be, you know, if you shouldn't talk about your mental health, screw that. Let's talk about it. Let's let it out. You know what I mean? But other than that, back to what I was saying. So we're going to mainly focus here on providing for the needy, the families in need, especially single parent households. If we can somehow help them out. I've helped tons of communities. I've helped volunteer at other places. I've helped volunteer at soup kitchens. I've done that before, and it's a lot of fun, and it feels good, you know, to help out. But let's help the homeless. Let's help the needy. And then, you know, the rest with the views and all that other stuff that I wanted to fund for a family vacation, all that comes at the end. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm going to be completely transparent throughout the series. And, you know, let's talk about it. Let's talk about things. Let's be entertaining for one another. And so that leads me right into what I mean by being entertaining. So every single day, we're going to post about something different. However I'm feeling today, I'm not sure how it is. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood. Sometimes I'm in a good mood. Sometimes I'm just chatty like I am today. But I'm going to talk about a little bit about my father. So my father's name is Fabian Sanchez. Excuse me. He's a little bit older a little bit on the older side. So if I'm not mistaken, he's in his late 50s or early 60s, and he was born in September. He is from the California area, but I guess had moved to Vegas at one point and then moved to Bakersfield, California. But I'm not entirely sure, like, the entire movement of all that. I just have gotten curious on my own, looked them up, you know. I've even tried a phone call once, and the one phone call that I did get through on, it was a person that answered, and I said, hello. I was like, I'm Israel from whatever, and they said, don't effing call me again, I don't want to talk to you, and then hung up on me. And so at the time I was really hurt. You know, I was like, was that him? I don't know. He never confirmed it. I don't understand, you know, what this was. Like, I was so upset, you know, and all I just wanted to do was know him, you know. And so eventually I was able to find his sisters, or they might have reached out on social media. I don't remember how it went. I was like 18. I'm 29 now. But they reached out to me. We ended up meeting in person. So I met his two sisters, and then I met his dad, which is my grandpa. So my aunts and my grandpa. And the grandpa wanted nothing to do with me. He was like, oh, you know, who's this guy? I mean, my entire family, like my dad's side, is all Hispanic, so they were all talking in Spanish. I understand Spanish, I understand everything. And he's just like, what is he doing here? I don't want nothing to do with him, basically. And, you know, that's fine. You know, it hurt a little bit, you know, because I want to know my roots. You know, like, I'll never understand my dad's side, my paternal side of all those things, like where we come from, you know, our family members, that kind of thing. And I've done 23andMe's to try to help kind of narrow some of those things down. And thankfully, I did come across one chick who I guess is my half sister, which I assume is his daughter, on the app. I can't remember what her name is, but I tried to message her. You know, I tried to message, and I reached out. I said, "Hey, my name's Israel. It appears that we're half siblings according to 23andMe. Like, I'd love to talk more to you and learn more about you. Like, that's cool if you're my sibling. You know, my half sibling. That's awesome. You know." And no, she never reached back. You know, so those are just some of the things that I think about. Like, I just want to, like, know him. I want to know his mannerisms. Does he talk with his hands? Is he like me? Does he regret not ever meeting me? Does he have like a feeling that he wants to meet me? Or, you know, these kinds of things. Like, I don't know, you know, and I'm always been very curious, you know, and I think that's always going to haunt me. And it's not like I hate him, you know, and because, you know, talking about the Bible, I believe in forgiveness, and I believe that we all make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm a liar. You know, I lie sometimes. Like, I lie just like small things. You know, did you take out the clothes? Oh yeah. Oh, you know, sometimes it's just things that, like, dumb small things. You know, but I make a lot of mistakes. You know, I'm not perfect, and so I know maybe back then he made a mistake. You know, and these are things that I want to know and I want to learn. You know, and kind of keeping me in the dark. Like, I don't know if he's close to his end. I don't know what that looks like, you know, but even as I'm talking about it, like, it kind of sucks, you know. I think about it. I'm like, dang, like, have you ever wanted to meet me? Have you ever thought about me? You know, that'd be cool, you know. But thankfully, I've had, like, a strong support system. You know, my family is real close-knit. We're always talking on the phone. We're always texting each other. We're always giving each other crap. And I'm very thankful and blessed with my beautiful family. Like, my grandparents and my aunts and my uncles and my cousins, like, we're all so close, like siblings. Like, it's insane, you know, and I love them to death, and I don't know what I would do without them, you know. So I'm very thankful for that. But there will always be that feeling in the back of my head, you know. And maybe, hopefully, you know, maybe through this series, maybe he does reach out, you know, because I'm not here to embarrass you. I'm not here to like put you on spot, but I'm here to let you know, like, I'm around. You know what I mean? Even a phone call, maybe a little FaceTime or something, that'd be fine. You know what I mean? So I don't know what he's up to. I don't know what that's like, you know, but I know for me, like, I could never leave my kids behind, you know, and even just thinking about it, it hurts my heart to think that, you know, and that goes back to mental health as well. You know, like, if you're feeling suicidal, or if you feel like you need to talk to someone and you feel like you just can't hang on any longer, reach out to me. And I promise you, I'll reach right back out. Or like put in the comments that you did reach out, just in case I miss it or something. Sometimes my phone doesn't do notifications or whatever, but I want to talk to you, you know, because I thought, you know, like, not that I've ever considered doing that, but I can understand that feeling. I can understand of being so overwhelmed where everything, like, your chest feels tight. Every morning is just a dread. You know, I've had those days. I've had really bad days. I've cried to God. I'm like, God, why do I feel like this? You know, and sometimes it sucks because you feel like you don't ever get any answers that way, but He's there, you know, and you're here for a reason. And it's important to know that. It's important to know that you're here for a reason. You're here to change your lives. And if you have kids and if you have family, they love you. They care about you. They don't want to see you go, you know, like, especially kids, it hits home, you know, like, the thought of me not being here, like, what does that look like for my son, you know, or for my sons? You know, they see me every day and then one day you're gone. What does that look like? It's not a good time. And I can't do that. You know, you can't do that. You can't just leave them behind. What kind of person does that make you if you leave them behind? You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't mean to get emotional, but that hits home, you know? And I think every time I leave the house, I always think about how I can be better. What can I do to show up and be present? And I'm not the best at it. You know, sometimes I get caught on my phone too much. Sometimes I play too many video games. That's like kind of my cure in a sense, you know. Helps drown out some of the noise. Helps drown out some of the noise that we experience in our lives. You know, sometimes being an adult can be stressful. You know, when you think about those times when you were 12, 13, 14 and your biggest problem was, you know, your girlfriend broke up with you in middle school or whatever, you know. And you're like, dang, I wish I can go back there one day and feel what it feels like to not have to pay mortgage or, you know, worry about anything else. But we're here for a reason. It's time to change. It's time to change. It's time to make everything better. And let's help ourselves by helping other people. So if I do end up getting a cool, you know, family vacation through all the views and the likes and the shares, then so be it. You know, thank God. And I praise the Lord for that. But like I said, the main priority here and for this channel and for every day on is to help those who need it. Because we help ourselves when we do that. You know, and I think that's what God wants from us. God wants us to help one another. And there's situations where some people are having a little bit harder than others. So what is it that we can do who are doing a little bit better than others to help others? Because not only does it help ourselves, but it helps them. You know? And so please follow, share, subscribe, go to my GoFundMe link and go please donate. Let's help people. As I mentioned, every Wednesday and Friday, we will do the whole footage thing where we go to the store and we'll show you what we buy and we show us handing it to the person, but we're not going to embarrass the person or put anybody on the spotlight. We're just here to strictly help people. We'll post your name and the amount that you donated so that you can get your, so that we can give you all the praise that you deserve for helping, because that is a big thing. You know, I think you deserve recognition for that. That's amazing. I think everybody who donates should deserve recognition. But every Wednesday and Friday we'll do that, starting next Wednesday. And then say, for example, it does go extremely viral and we do go big time. We do end up going viral and we are helping thousands of people. Then we'll do it every single day. We'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a video for every single day that we help a person. So I'm from Southern Michigan. We're mainly going to be helping out the Southern Michigan area. If for some reason we can help others from maybe another state or maybe a single parent home family from another state or whatever the case may be, by somebody that reaches out, we will do so, but we'll make sure we do everything by the book. That way we can actually help people. I'm the kind of person that will do whatever it takes to get the job done. I've always been that way. I'm a true problem solver and will do whatever it takes. But just know that YouTube and TikTok, you guys are going to be completely notified of all movement when it comes to GoFundMe and stuff like that. Like I said, whatever comes from the views, whether it be going big, I do get a cool little vacation out of that for my family and take them somewhere where they really wanted to go that I can't afford right now. And that'd be cool, but like I said, that stuff, materialistic stuff, especially as I get older, doesn't mean that much to me. I'm very thankful and blessed that I do have everything that I do have. And I praise the Lord for that. I'm very thankful. As much as I should be praying more and stuff, and not saying thank you enough like I should, I definitely need to. And so, again, happy Men's Mental Health Month. And just know that you're here for a reason. Know that you woke up today for a reason, and that there's a reason why we need to keep going, whether it be your family or yourself. Because I love you, and I'm here for you, and I want to help you. And even if it's not monetary, and we can just help each other by talking, it would help me a lot. You know what I mean? And I'm genuine and I'm honest about that. And I can need all the I could use all the help that I could get, And so, like I said, I don't have any of the fancy thumbnails, or I don't have any of the fancy cha-chings popping up or whatever. But I hope you guys can follow this series, and go follow me on TikTok. Like I said, it's the same handle at The Life of Israel. And I truly am excited to see where this goes, because like I said, I've never done anything like this before. And, I know a lot of people make living off social media, and there's a lot of influencers making thousands of dollars on social media and stuff like that. And, no, I just really want to help people. And, hopefully that'd be cool to take my family somewhere where they've always wanted to go, through all the views and, the social media and stuff. But I think it can be a good learning lesson for all of us, including my own family, and showing my son that we're here or my sons, excuse me, I keep saying son, but it's my sons, that we're here for a purpose. And it feels good to help people, because we all need it, especially right now. Things are so expensive. But just know that, like I said, Men's Mental Health Month, you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. There's a reason why you're still waking up today. There's a reason why you're still on your legs. There's a reason why your head still works. There's a reason why your family and everybody's still here for you. We all love you. We all support you. So please follow, share, like, subscribe. Whatever, if you're watching this, whatever, just be on. Stay tuned for more videos to come tomorrow and for forever on. Hopefully this goes big time. Tag your favorite people. Let's make this big. I want to make it into a family thing. I think, if we can all just donate, we could all share. We're going to move mountains with that. And I firmly believe that. So, thank you so much for watching this far. I know it's 33 minutes long. Hopefully you're watching and eating some food at the same time, and I'm not boring you. But I want to share more stories. I mean, I have so many stories in my short time of being on this earth. Another story I guess I could share right now. I mean, in honor of Men's Mental Health Month, I had a really good friend. I don't want to say his name, but in the Marine Corps, we go through a lot. We're away from family. A lot of the Marine Corps is just centered around drinking and partying. I mean, you work hard, you play hard, you go out, you train, and then you come back to the barracks, and then Friday night it's on, and you just drinking, and everybody's shotgunning beers, and that's like the thing. But this buddy would drink so much to where he would get upset. At least this is my perspective. So if you're watching this and you're that buddy, just know this is my perspective. But had a buddy drink all the time, get too drunk, would cry all the time, cry about his ex, cry about, not being able to do this. It's hard, having that same feeling that we were talking about earlier. Just couldn't handle it anymore. And then I remember he got his wisdom teeth pulled out while in the Marine Corps. And during that time, they give you, painkillers so that you can, help you relieve some of that pain in your teeth. And I remember it was one of the weekends. Every Sunday we were forced to get haircuts because that's part of the standard in the Marine Corps, is making sure you look as good as possible all throughout the week. You do it again every Sunday. Me, two other buddies were getting haircuts. I finished mine, get in the car early, waiting for those two to finish. And then I get a phone call, and this phone call was from the buddy that I was talking about. And he's crying over the phone, and I'm, assessing the situation. He's like, hey man, what's going on? What are you guys doing? We're getting haircuts, what are you up to? And he's just like, hey man, I just want to say that I love you. That I love you so much, and I want to say thank you for everything that you've done for me. Tell Maylee, well, one of my buddies, tell him that I'm sorry, because we had some dispute over weddings and stuff. Tell him that I'm sorry. Tell this guy that I'm sorry. Tell this guy that I'm sorry. So as he's telling me these things, my brain is starting to click. Like, why is he saying this? This is so weird. This is so out of character for him. You'd call each other and be like, screw you, pal, and then hang up, but this one was different. So it clicked in my head. There's something going on, and he's saying his ultimate, his goodbyes, and so he's saying his goodbyes. I'm like, where are you going, buddy? You're not going nowhere. And I'm trying to stall him as these guys are like getting their haircut still. And he's like, I just want to say that I'm sorry and that I love you guys so much, and I can't do this. And I'm like, oh dude, well, where are you at? And I'm trying to get information out of him as he's saying these things to me. Where you at? He's like, I can't tell you. Just want to know, or I want you guys to know. Tell everybody I'm sorry. I love you. And clicks, hangs up, right? I start panicking. I'm like, oh crap, we need to find this guy. Where is he? I run into the barbershop. I'm like, dudes, we have to go. This dude is spazzing out. We have to find him. Immediately, I start calling everybody. I'm calling all of my peers. I'm calling all of my my NCOs, who are the supervisors or the corporals. So it goes private, PFC, lance corporal, sergeants, staff sergeants, gunnies, like that kind of thing. I'm calling my corporals. I'm calling my sergeants. I'm like, we have to find this guy. I don't know where he's at. He's crying. He's telling me this or whatever. And after I start making all these phone calls, everybody starts playing telephone. Everybody's calling each other, asking where this guy's at. Some people are out of town. Some people are all this stuff. Finally, one of the people I called their friend, and that friend said that he was house sitting their dog or whatever, or dog sitting at their house. So from that phone call, it led to 911 being called, and then the neighbor to the house that he was at that time had already called the police and was conducting CPR, or I think it was CPR. It was something like that, like on the front lawn, trying to help him, like whatever he was doing. So they get there, take him to the hospital, everything. Later on, the details came out. He ended up taking the entire bottle of pills and washing it down with a whole bottle of Jaeger. This is what I heard. Again, this is my perception. This is my perspective of the whole situation. So he basically tried to commit, SUI, whatever. I don't want to say it. I don't know if it's going to get me banned on here, but he tried to do that. Eventually, he wakes up after they, get all that stuff out. Wakes up and he just starts going berserk. He's spazzing out. Why did you save me? Why do you save me? To our sergeant who was at the hospital with him. Eventually, they have to put him back down to sleep. He ends up chilling out. Everything's fine after that. He ends up kind of going back to normal after the whole situation. Kind of just ignored it all. A bunch of us ended up getting awards for like acting quickly and finding him, which was cool. But it hurt. It hurt me as a friend. Like it made me think like, what could I have done to help him? Is there something I could have said? Is there something I could have done? So you have like a little bit of guilt there, and then you're kind of still on watch, making sure he's okay. And the Marine Corps did a pretty good job at watching him, making sure everything was okay after. And like I said, he went back to normal, and he's out and about now, which is cool. And I'm very blessed for that. But it's one of those things where you also need to speak out too. It's one of those things where I know sometimes it can be hard to tell people. Sometimes you can't even just look at your loved ones and be like, dude, I'm feeling like this. Because sometimes they just don't get it. Or sometimes you just don't want to come off as, maybe you're losing your mind, you don't want to sound crazy. But it's not that. Because if you go and you tell somebody about how you're feeling, you're letting them know that you need some help. And that's what we as humans, as I've been talking about this entire time, what we could do for one another. We could help each other. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that I just wanted to tell that story in honor of Men's Mental Health Month. Like I said, he's doing well now, and I'm glad he's okay. And I'm glad he's still here with us today. But reach out, okay? Because there's a point where it becomes your responsibility as well to let somebody know what you're going through. Because if you don't, and you keep smiling through it all, and you assume everything's okay, then one day you'll just snap. And we don't want that. Nobody wants that. Your family doesn't want that. Your kids don't want that. And So reach out. It's Men's Mental Health Month. Let's talk about it more. Let's keep talking, and be here for your family. And just know that you're here for a reason. As hard as things will get, whether it be financially, whether it be just you can't catch a break, car breaks down, and now it's your trailer, or maybe it's your plumbing issues, or now my dishwasher's broke. Like for me, my dishwasher's broke, and it just seems like the car is messing up now. It's like, oh, give me a break, please. But I know everything's going to come together. And that comes with faith, because I always remind myself, like, especially in those hard times when I feel like that, I'm like, God got me, And I think whoever's watching this, if anybody watches this at all, I hope that you guys can feel the same way. Whether you believe in God or not, if it's something that you just don't believe in and you need somebody to talk to, I believe in you. There's a reason why you're here. You need to make a change. We need to make a change, and we can help each other do that. So if you need to get outside. The sun is nice. I know every time, I don't want to go outside sometimes, but I know when I do go outside, I feel much better. Go outside, go for a walk, take the kids out to the park, get some ice cream, go by yourself. Shoot, go to the park by yourself and go read a book, or go read some scripture or something. I guess I could use my own advice too. But even like the other day, I did the lawn and I killed it. I killed it outside. It was amazing. And I felt so good afterwards, like through all the sweat. I had to burn a bunch of leaves. I'm so behind on the leaves, but other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Go to my TikTok. Please like, subscribe, share. Go donate if you can. If you can't, that's completely fine as well. Just talk. Drop some questions in the comments. We can make some more videos. I'll be posting a lot more on here as well. But I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I look forward to maybe even doing a series later down the line of where we can have people call in and we can just kind of talk about it and record the whole thing. And maybe it might help other people that are going through the same thing, but I know, like, when I used to watch podcasts a lot, I don't watch them as much anymore, but when I used to watch podcasts, hear some of the things that they're going through and seeing how you can fix it and some of the remedies that they use, helped me a lot. It did help me a lot. I'm like, okay, I don't feel alone, and that's what we're put on this earth for. So again, God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's a little long, but I hope you're eating something, or maybe you're snacking around, or maybe even peeking back at the TV. I have a little bit of OCD and stuff, and so I'm always like fidgeting and stuff while other people are talking. But thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Please go find the donation link, the GoFundMe link, and let's move mountains. My name's Israel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.